Halo semuanya, guten Tag, welcome to my channel, Joan Christoph, and back again to reaction about our politician speak English, because like so many people request about like, this content, so that's why I'm inviting Ola again to this channel. But before, maybe people didn't know yet, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ola, I live in Berlin and I'm an English teacher.
Okay, and we have like the new guest. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Jess. I'm also an English teacher. I'm from the States.
Okay, and you from?
From England.
Yeah, English and American accent. So we have like both accents here. So it's pretty simple, guys. This is your first time, right, in this channel?
Yeah.
So the rules is pretty simple. You react about like our politicians speak English, and then you can say whatever you want. You can comment about like his accent, his pronunciation, his vocabulary, everything. You can guys pronounce as an English teacher. I think like my views also like will be like interesting to see your reaction, guys.
Okay.
About our politicians speak English. Do you think like as a president you need to know English, or like you need to like at least speak English? What do you think?
I don't know. I think that's actually a really interesting concept. I think the West, well, I'll speak specifically for the States. They'll say yes, you need to learn how to speak English. But I also, when you look at UN rounds, when everyone's there, everyone can speak in their respective language. They have their earpieces for translation. But maybe to reach a wider audience, English is not the go-to language that everyone speaks for like understanding each other. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say I don't think it's 100% necessary, and especially when you're looking not just in like the States and Western Europe, because I mean even within Europe, the French president speaks in German when he's giving addresses in Germany, and I think particularly for Indonesia you have a lot of contact with the UAE and other Muslim countries. So actually maybe English is not as important as something like Arabic, but also like Jess says, English is used so widely as a kind of lingua franca, a language for everybody. Yeah,
international, like political, like,
so I think it's not 100% necessary, but it's definitely a benefit.
I think also like it's good to like share your opinion or like your power of your country. If you like really like speak by yourself and like in English, and then you know what you want to like talk. So for me like English is like, for me also like not 100% important, but I mean it's like important. So you can like have communication with other like country, so if you're doing a collaboration, so you can always use English. But like I agree about like you guys, not 100% like oh my god you must know like perfect English. No, we can also like use translator. So but today let's go to the topic. You will react 3 politicians speak English. 3 of them is in the like candidate of new president. But before, can you try pronounce his name and then read what in English?
Anies Baswedan.
It's Anies Baswedan. We didn't pronounce Anies Baswedan. We didn't pronounce
Anies Baswedan.
Anies Baswedan.
Anies Baswedan is an Indonesian academic, activist and politician who served as the governor of Jakarta from 2017 to 2022.
Okay, that's Anies Baswedan. And Jess, can you try and pronounce his name?
Ganjar Pranowo.
Oh, Ganjar Pranowo.
Yes.
What's Ganjar Pranowo?
Ganjar Pranowo is an Indonesian politician who served as a governor of the Central Java between 2013 and 2023.
And then the last,
Prabowo Subianto. And I've had him before as well. Prabowo Subianto is an Indonesian politician, businessman, and former army lieutenant general, serving as the Minister of Defense since 2019.
It's really like interesting, guys, because like you as like English accent and you as like American accent. So it's really interesting to see your reaction, guys, about like our politicians speak English. And the first you will react about Prabowo Subianto speaking English. And after like this interview, you can also like directly like say whatever you your thought about like his English, and then like we can also like move to another candidate. But at the end, you must choose one your favorite. Because like now we seeing like 3 candidates, and at the end you must choose one your favorite from this video, from this interview. Are you ready, guys? The same concept that we interview with another people, so you will see them in interview. The first Prabowo Subianto. Are you ready?
Tell us exactly what you mean by hijacking democracy?
You know, democracy is not just elections. Democracy is also political culture, fairness, transparency. You know, we have many elections in which the voting list of voters are full of ghost voters. Basically, it's fraudulent voting lists. How can we have a real democracy with ghost voters? And the number is quite amazing, you know. And even at present, we are now demanding an investigation and cleaning up of the voting list. Because how can we have elections with a fraudulent voting list? You know, people who have died many years ago, they're still there. 5-year-old kids are still there. You have names that come up maybe 30 times, the same name.
Because it's actually happened in Indonesia during the elections.
So this type of fraud is very prevalent. And the buying of votes, the buying of election officials is very prevalent. That's what I mean by the hijacking of democracy. So on the surface, it looks good, but in substance, a lot must be achieved. And the problem is if our people in the end lose trust in government, lose trust in institutions, then I'm worried. I think there can be a real breakdown in the body politic, you know, in our political life. Because history teaches us that if the people lose trust in the institutions, it's the beginning of breakdown, of a failed state.
Yeah, I also agree about like what he said, but like let's talk about like his English.
I couldn't find a single thing wrong with his English. I mean, he really was fluent, he was comfortable, he had the passion behind the words, and and he paused when he needed to emphasize again on the word. But he was completely comfortable in speaking rather fluently. So
Yeah, I completely agree. I think what's really important and interesting to note about this interview is that she takes a phrase that he has used to describe Indonesian politics and she asks him, what do you mean by that? Can you explain that? And to think, I don't know how much he has prepared for this interview, but to be able to explain that on your feet in the moment is quite a difficult challenge. And he spoke really fluently, really calmly. He used really high-level phrases like he talks about the body politic.
But I actually didn't understand what is like the body politic. This
is it's a really formal, quite old-fashioned English phrase. You read it a lot in historical texts, and you hear it particularly, probably not, I would say, in American politics, but in British politics you hear it quite often. But this is really high-level
English.
Idiomatic English, So he was very impressive.
That's interesting. For the next candidate, you will react about Ganjar Pranowo. Are you ready? This was like interview with like Austria, like.
For example, and we have an exchange program that is always very successful, and that could be an interesting option also for your region, because it's something which we try to support. We try to continue this cooperation and expand it. We're very strong already. Honorary Consul
Not this guy, but
a very strong cooperation already. And I thought maybe we could expand also to the city.
From Central Java, we can send some of our teacher, or maybe I can invite your expert from Australia to Central Java.
Come here and develop
something like training for trainers.
Yes, exactly.
Which is the best one?
The best one, what we do first, is normally that they come here and they build up the vocational training center, teach them, and after that there's exchange possible. First they build it up here to improve the quality of the workforce and the quality of education.
Okay. Maybe my staff can follow your staff.
Yes.
And then you can decide for the technical trainers. For the teacher and some of the student, and then after this, you can send some of the student or teacher go to those relation between the school and industry.
Exactly.
I'm here from Austria and German. That we have what you call
We call it a dual education system.
dual education system, and you have something like a teaching industry. Something like this.
Yes, we combine 15, 16-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah. What do you think about like his English?
Goodness, I think compared to the previous video, again, this guy has a mask on, so that could also.
Yeah.
And it was also a little hard with the audio. The previous guy was mic'd up. This guy is not. We're just talking in a room. But I will say the guy has some swag. He's very comfortable, and when he is speaking, he is again eloquent and he's comfortable in his English. I couldn't really find any flaws. What do you think?
No, I didn't notice anything specific. It's quite hard to hear some of the details of his speech, but I can't say that that's his fault. It's more connected to the mask and the audio. I would say he doesn't seem to be using as high level English in terms of vocabulary and phrases as the previous video, but also that can change. It's the level of English you use depends so much on the situation you're in. And whereas in the last video he was speaking to what sounded like a British or English journalist, so she's a native speaker. Here he's speaking to an Austrian, so it's a second language maybe for Austrian, maybe the third language. And I think that he's using completely appropriate English. He's got all the necessary vocabulary. And I suppose this is a really interesting example for your question earlier. How important is English? Because here you see we have an Austrian who speaks German and
Indonesian who speak Bahasa Indonesia. So English is like really like not 100% important, but at least like it's important. If you know English and you can communicate with another like a country, like from another country, not like governments. Okay, that's the second. And for the third, we will react about Anies Baswedan with the same concept interview. Are you ready, guys?
I served as governor of Jakarta and Minister of Education prior to this new assignment that I am now taking as candidate for president. When I manage a city like Jakarta or Minister of Education, you will learn that you have to have principles in making decisions. You have to have guidelines that allow the bureaucracy, the infrastructures under your authority to go on the same directions as your vision and your mission. So the key word whenever we're talking about the future is stability, predictability. Because whenever you're talking about change, people are always worried about will what I've been seeing as good thing continue or discontinue. Or I'm promoting the idea of change, and what is consists as change here. Right? I'd like to see more implementations and policies based on principle of equality, principle of justice.
What do you think about his English?
This is, I mean, I think in this example compared to the others, it's a lot more improvised. I don't think he has scripted and learned this, so it's normal for there to be more mistakes, and even for native speakers, mistakes in this. He does make a couple of mistakes that I noticed, particularly in terms of his use of present tense. He says something consists of. We don't need the is. Something consists of.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's adding that in, but that also very much could be when you're thinking on your feet, when you're speaking as you think. Native speakers and second language speakers make
some mistakes. Okay.
Yeah. He also has this really nice presidential tone that you see in politicians, where he's quite slow in his speech, but he's very purposeful. He uses his words and his pauses to really emphasize what he's saying, and that's a really nice, clear quality.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think, Jess?
Yeah, totally agree in the sense of the pausing, and definitely I was even saying his vocabulary. Like he knows exactly what he wants to say.
Yeah.
And he's taking his time to like think through what he's going to say, emphasizing on what he wants to say.
Okay, now it's like presidential candidate.
Yeah.
Okay.
So president is the noun form. So they are the voters for the new president.
Yeah.
But presidential is the adjective form, so presidential candidate.
Wow. Here, guys, presidential candidate. Okay, from the presidential candidates. You just saw the interview, guys, but now it's an important question: which one your favorite, guys? The first, Prabowo Subianto, Ganjar Pranowo, or Anies Baswedan. You must choose just one and explain to us why you choose him.
What was the first one's name again?
Prabowo Subianto.
Prabowo.
You choose Prabowo Subianto.
Yeah, that's the one.
Prabowo Subianto. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Based purely on English. And the way that he expressed himself, I would say he seemed really sure, he seemed really confident, and his language skills were, he seemed completely fluent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why both of you guys chose Prabowo Subianto. Okay, I hope you like and enjoy our video today, guys. If you like, you can follow us on Instagram. Send us DM on Instagram and follow us on Instagram. Just send requests maybe. What kind of like video guys do you want to see us make together on this channel? Just DM us on Instagram, or you can comment below, guys. Thank you so much for watching our video. As always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our videos. And I hope you have a great day and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.